2. We're here at Kingston Heath for Bentley versus St Albans.
Testing 1 2 1 2 3 4 5.
Okay, testing, 1, 2, 1,
1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Do you want me to go louder or louder?
Testing 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Perfect.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Good evening and welcome to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex in Melbourne Southeast for this round 11 NPL Men's Victoria Senol contest between Bentleigh Greens and St Albans Saints. It's a big game for both these two teams. Bentleigh and St Albans looking to bounce back after respective 4-0 losses last Friday night. Bentleigh looking to get themselves right in the mix for finals football this year, while St Albans looking to kick away from the bottom three and start to mount a finals push of their own. My name is Nick Tabano and I'm joined here alongside Nick Hughes. Nick, it's a beautiful night here in Melbourne for some NPL Men's Victoria action, and we're set for what's set to be quite an intriguing contest between these two teams.
Massively intriguing, and you're spot on, Nick. You couldn't ask for a better May night's worth of football here in Senol NPL Victoria. A couple of weeks ago on the gantries across the state, I think everyone was rugged up and probably had the gloves and the raincoats on. But it's a beautiful, balmy night, and yeah, what a contest we've got in store. Really intriguing periods of form and outlooks for both sides. And as you mentioned, both sides looking to recover from poor results last week. So it'll be really interesting to watch this 90 minutes in front of us.
Without speaking too early, this might be one of the last warm nights here in Melbourne, but you never know. It seems like there's always chopping and changing week to week, but nonetheless we're set for what's set to be a big game of football. And St Albans, who are on the road today, have made 6 changes to the starting lineup that played against South Melbourne on the weekend. They've been forced into 3 changes. They're without Ajak Dayu, Alec Mills and Mikel Platt, who dropped out of the squad entirely. Josh Golevsky, Alexander Sepivirovsky and Christian Rossi are all on the bench tonight. Coming back into the squad is Michael Martinovic, Atsushi Inoue. Marko Juric is on the bench, but making out the rest of that starting lineup is Marko Bulic, who returns back between the sticks for the first time since round 5, Fletcher McFarlane, Anthony Laban, and Jerome Sharan, who join the usual suspects in that starting lineup: Lockie Weir, Joseph Cholino, who's recovered from injury, Joey Monek, Aaron Anderson, and Nick Cook, who will lead the line from usual spot on the wing. While Bentleigh Greens, despite going down 4-0 against Oakley Cannons last week, they've only made the one change to the squad, and it's a big one. Lee Broxham back in the team today, and out goes Kazuto Davies. So an unchanged starting 11 made up of Ahmed Taleb, Keiji Kagiyama, Maki Petrados, Anthony Lynn, Deo Nicolaides, Mario Baldea, Samuel Grella, Michael Boffey, Ismail Haji, Kalu Kamara, and Luke Oresti. These are two of the hardest teams to really get a read on in this league, Nick. Bentley have been so good at home, but the last 2 weeks on the road, their solid defence has been beaten 7 times, conceding, really an amount of goals that we didn't see in any form in the opening rounds of the season. While St Albans, they've beaten the likes of Heidelberg and Hume, but they've had some big drubbings which have set them back as we get things underway. St Albans kicking from left to right in their white, and Bentleigh Greens from right to left in their home green.
Yeah, you're spot on, Nick. They've had a couple of scalps each. Bentleigh beating Avondale in round 2, and as you mentioned, St Albans got the win over Heidelberg, and then when they beat Hume, a red-hot informed Hume a couple of weeks ago, you thought that might have been a chance for a big turnaround after a couple of really narrow defeats. So for them to turn around with a 4-0 loss to South Melbourne, and Cam Watson's obviously felt the need to swing the axe a little bit, although, as you mentioned, 3 of the 6 changes enforced to the starting 11, so big opportunity for both sides, you think, to respond from last week, potentially catch the opponent unawares after those results last week, and look to move up the table. Well worked down St Albans' right-hand side. It's a good ball, and just as it flashed past Nicholas Cook, you thought that chance might have gone begging, but excellent arrival at the back post to at least turn that one on target, and that'll be a real positive start for St Albans for Cam Watson.
It's good work down the right-hand side there. Michael Martinovic, who was sorely missed last week, was brilliant against Hume a couple of weeks ago, but missed through injury last week. That Ajak Dayu starting at right back last week, so more of a natural choice in today. And that was a great ball in, but Jerome Sharan just unable to put that one either side of Ahmad Taleb. So good start here for St Albans.
And they're on the attack again, and again it's down this right-hand side. It's Inoue back into the 11. Good strength from Nicolaides to force him out of play. So a positive start in these first couple of minutes. We've got 12 seconds showing on the scoreboard here, so we might be a couple of minutes behind on the scoreboard here at Kingston Heath. But I thought St Albans started really well, and for the majority of, if not the entire first half last week, were really good value against South Melbourne, only going in 1-0 down due to what was a pretty poorly defended long throw-in. So, again, another positive start, and hopefully they can build on it and nick the first goal this time.
Absolutely, and we see that they are one of the teams that in this league who really like to play with the ball at their feet, keep the ball off the opposition. Not a very much a heavy transition side, like to try and pick their way through teams, and at times it has come back to bite them, especially last week against South Melbourne, who pressed with so much ferocity. And at St Albans, they're wedded to their principles, which some people may scoff at, but nonetheless, it's in some of these games, particularly we saw against Hume last week, that it can work really effectively. But it's in those defensive moments they've just let themselves undone a few times. And the unfortunate thing has been, Nick, that when they've conceded goals in some of these games, they haven't been able to turn the tap off. They've leaked goals like a sieve, 3 against Preston, 5 against Melbourne City, and 4 last week against South Melbourne. And conversely, look at Bentley. Other than those 2 losses on the road in their last 2 against Dandy City and against Oakley, they have been so good defensively, and especially here at Kingston Heath, where they've just been formidable. Doesn't matter who they've come up against, they've been really good here at home this season.
Yeah, 11 goals against, plays 21 goals against, Bentleigh and St Albans respectively, so I feel like that'll be an intriguing battle. Sounds an obvious thing to say, you know, whoever can breach the opposite numbers defence will obviously give themselves the upper hand, but given the defensive records, you know, any goal or opportunities on goal for St Albans will feel really important. And again, for Bentley, they'll be smelling blood and know that they can get at St Albans' back four. It's with Bentley in there, deep in their attacking half on the far side. It's thrown into Hadji, who just missed his touch. It was Inoue well placed to intercept rather. Back with Grella for another throw. A little bit of pinball. McFarlane can finally clear. And we'll have another throw in for Bentley.
It's a little bit of sustained territory here for the home side, looking to bounce back after that really disappointing performance on the road against Oakley last week. 11th game now of the season for both these two teams. Bentley back in the top flight after 2 years back in VPL 1. That shock relegation in 2023. George Katsakis, a well-tenured coach here in NPL Victoria, steering them back to the top flight to a really solid 2025 to get them back in amongst the top sides here in this state as St Albans look to build up from the back. Anderson. Short to Cholina. Good to see that he's out there tonight. Took a very heavy collision from Geordie Swibble last week and was forced off after that collision in the first half. Well, bouncing all the way through there to Ahmad Taleb, who's very similar goalkeeping situation at Bentley as we've seen with St Albans. They haven't been wedded to a number one choice for the entire year. Taleb started as the backup behind Brenton White, but has since worked his way back in, while Marco Bulic, who's between the sticks today, started as a number one, lost his spot in the starting 11 to Christian Rossi, and he gets his opportunity again today.
Yeah, Cam Watson certainly shown his willingness to change that position in goal, and in particular after a couple of those heavy defeats that we've mentioned, it was Bulic's role until the 5-0 defeat to City, Melbourne City that is, and then after the 4-0 result last week, it's swapped back from Rossi to Bulic again.
Haji's ball was blocked by his own teammate. Sharan in behind towards Cook. Forced out wide, and it's all the way back to Inoue. Very handy in here for St Albans, having the Japanese midfielder available to them again today. Inoue into the area. It's not a bad ball. Sharan couldn't get there. Laban, good challenge to win it back. Inoue. Cholina. Cook, nice little touch around, but Kamara does well. Monek, switching ball out to Inoue. to the area, and it just flashes past Cook, and it's out for a goal kick. So, Nick, this fixture has been dominated by Bentleigh Greens. In fact, they've won their last 12 meetings. They're undefeated in their last 12 meetings against St Albans, going all the way back to 2009. So if St Albans are to win tonight, Nick, it'll be 6,100 days since then. But beyond that, the last time that they beat Bentley in the top flight, because that wasn't in the top flight of Victorian football that year, was all the way back in 2005, round 24 that year. But the last time that they beat Bentley in the top flight at Kingston Heath, if you want to keep going down that way, was all the way back in 1999. So it's been a long time between drinks for St Albans. Pulled out some nice fun facts there for you guys at home and whatnot. But fair to say, this has been a fixture that Bentley have had a lot of joy in for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible, isn't it? Just 6 wins in total in the 41 meetings. 6 wins for St Albans in the 41 meetings between the two sides. So on that sort of form, you'd think that they have a little bit of work to do and a bit of a mountain to climb. And on paper, in terms of in real life in this season, obviously we've touched on the form and how difficult Bentley have been to beat and break down here at Kingston Heath. We'll see if they can banish some of those demons, and I'm sure they'll have plenty of confidence that they can do so.
Ball in from Petrados, and it's cleared away there by Cholina. Petrados has been the danger man for Bentley this season. 6 goals already this campaign. What a signing he has been. But now St Albans looking to go back the other way. Laban, great bit of skill in the middle of the park there. Switching ball towards Sharan is intercepted. Well worked there by Grella. Here's Weir. In those games, Nick, that St Albans haven't won in their last 12, they've only scored 4 goals in those games as well, and 2 of them have come from Joey Monek. So it's fair to say he's had a bit of joy in those fixtures. We'll see if he can add to his goal tally tonight as Sharan to Weir in a crossing position here on this left-hand side. Feeds through Inoue, has players lining up in the middle, and it's well defended and cleared away.
What a start Inoue's made to this game. Just popped up on the right flank early doors. He's obviously playing through the middle and now doing a lot of his work on the left flank, making those late runs, getting balls in the box.
Good to see him back after missing a couple of league games through suspension. Another note, both these two teams coming off the back of short turnarounds, playing in the Cup on Tuesday night. St Albans had to go to extra time on the road against FC Melbourne Serbia, came away with a 3-1 win, while Bentley left it very late to beat Banyul here at home 1-0, courtesy of a 97th minute winner from Jawad Razai, who's on the bench tonight. Kageyama out towards Nicolaides, couldn't keep it alive, and the ball goes out there for a throw-in.
Yeah, sets up a couple of really intriguing matchups for their next Cup fixtures as well. Both will be at home. Bentley against the high-flying VPL1 leaders Northcote, and St Albans will play host to Oakley for a chance to get that one step closer to Australia Cup qualification through the Doherty Cup. That's a nice turn. Laban letting it run ahead. Martinovic just couldn't quite calculate the ball to Monek. The ladies defended it well and happy to surrender the throw-in. We've seen St Albans again looking comfortable, settling into periods of possession, using the size of this pitch here at Kingston Heath to their advantage. Bullich getting a little bit of early work in with his feet as well. McFarlane looks long on this occasion. Cook could well get onto it. Ball just raced away to Leb before Nicholas Cook could latch onto it. Former Western United Academy man Nicholas Cook. He's done most of his work out wide this season, but one of those real modern day versatile forwards, can play anywhere across a front three or in a front two alongside another forward. Plenty of plenty of tricks in his locker. Pace, skill, strength and height as well. A couple of goals so far this season. He'll be looking to have an impact again. Nicolaides, great strength and a strong challenge from Martinovic, but Petrados will go on. Set to the edge of the box. It was just a bit behind Hadji. Dealt with it well and beat his man expertly. Fires over the bar for a St Albans goal kick. Been a little bit of everything so far. I think we're finally on track with the match time, so we're 12 and a half minutes in. Been a little bit of everything. Both sides, a couple of decent periods of possession, a little bit of transition, some fiery tackles so far, so more of the same hopefully for hopefully an entertaining contest.
Well, it's set the bar for, as you mentioned, Nick, hopefully a really, really fun game of football. It's a big game for both these two teams. Bentley coming into this round inside the top 6. St Albans just outside the relegation zone. Sides nipping at their heels. But a win today could really thrust them away from the bottom 3. But not only that, just keep them right in the mix as well amongst those logjam of teams looking to play finals football. It's so tight in the middle parts of the table. Really, Nick, you think you could throw a blanket over so many of those teams, and you think about when you look at actual head-to-head beyond the points deductions that Preston and Dandy City have, it's really set up for such a competitive NPL Victoria season. As Kamara couldn't control it, Cook, Monek back to Cook! Oh, what a finish from Nicholas Cook! That was beautiful work on the edge of the area from Cook and Monek. And the youngster, the former Western United youngster, with a beautiful finish past Taleb.
Well, we touched on Nicholas Cook just earlier. One of the guys who retained his spot in the 11, avoided the changes. It's his 11th start from 11. He's arrived at St Albans midway through last season and immediately become a real key figure. And we touched on moving into the middle from his customary wide position. That was not a winger in that situation. That was textbook number 9 play. The control with to link up with Monek with the one-touch wall pass, if you like, and that finish. Outstanding. He still had plenty of work to do on the edge of the box. Defenders around him, bouncing ball, firing it into the bottom corner. And we talked about all those stats. St Albans struggling to score against Bentley. Teams in general struggling to score against Bentley this season, and particularly here at Kingston Heath. That will do St Albans the world of good. Outstanding start for the visitors. Bentley looking to get right back on the front foot. It's Petrados. Well tackled from behind by Martinovic. Boldea, that's a nice ball. Just looking for the feet of his number 9. And an uncompromising thump away from Jerome Sharan. Kagiyama missed his touch and Inoue was onto it. Adam Bathko bring it back for the foul on Luca Resti, who's continuing to grow into his important role in midfield for Bentley, the former Melbourne City junior. Keiji Kagiyama just tried to take that one a little too quickly and the ball was still rolling. And we'll go direct and lift it into the box. It's a good, well-floated ball too. And the header was on target. From Anthony Lynn, but an easy one for Marko Bulic to hold. Anderson, that's nice through the lines to Leban. Martinovic kept it in. McFarlane now with time to drive into midfield. Finds Inoue. back across to Anderson again. So patient and comfortable and calm in possession. St Albans, it looked like they had a chance to break through Bentley's lines, but once they're faced with that mid-block, they're calm and confident enough to turn back and keep the ball. Fallon went long. Grella was well placed. That's a nice touch inside to Kamara. And a lovely layoff from Lynn. Aresti looking to play in the pace of Hadji. Oh, that was a late and very ill-advised challenge from Ismail Hadji. Adam Bavkar just taking the early opportunity, I guess, to simmer things and not get the card out of his pocket too early, but that was a good couple of seconds late from Ismail Hadji.
Bullich almost prepared for that like he was drawing a screen, been watching a bit of the NBA playoffs there.
I dare say they might have gone to the monitors if that one were in the NBA.
Well, there's no green light that they can go to here, but nonetheless, play will continue.
Don't mind it from Adam Bavkar. No need to get the cards out the pocket too early. That's an excellent run from Sharan. It looked like he was just going to keep on going. Baldea was well positioned, but St Albans are back on it. Sharan again with the touch. Cook will look to shoot. Instead, laid off to Monek! Goal scorer turns provider for the second. It was Monek to Cook for the first. It's now Cook to Monek for the second. Two outstanding finishes from the St Albans front men. And inside 20 minutes, it's St Albans 2, Bentley Greens 0 at Kingston Heath.
Well, Nick, you spoke about the start, and last week St Albans started really strongly and didn't get the reward, and so far they've gotten it not once but twice. Two brilliant finishes there. Great work there from Nick Cook, just to muscle his way through and lay it off perfectly there to Joey Monek, who we spoke about, has been the man who has been the constant throughout this fixture. And that is an expertly hit shot from the edge of the box there. And St Albans have just come out with just so much ferocity going forward and look so clinical going forward. But the way they've been able to lock the ball in their attacking third as well. And Cook just laying that on a platter there for Monek. And if you're Cam Watson and the St Albans coaching staff, you'd be absolutely thrilled with what you're seeing. Because, mind you, this is a Bentley side, Nick, that only conceded 3 goals at home before tonight. And so far, they've been breached twice. So this is a really, really solid start here from St Albans.
Could not have asked for anything more from the visitors. Joey Monek on his 151st appearance for Dinamo, moving him into outright 6th in the all-time appearances for the club. He's been a hero on so many occasions, home or away for St Albans, and doing it on the road at one of the toughest places to come in NPL, Senol NPL Victoria. What a start for St Albans. What a pair of finishes.
So how did Bentley respond from here? They haven't been in this situation all too often at this venue. In fact, they haven't at all this season, I believe. Found themselves behind at home. But now Aresti, and it's saved by Bullich. An opportunity there for Bentley to strike back immediately. And they've been behind in games, though, particularly on the road. It's been hard for them to get back into them. So something for George Katsakis and his coaching staff to work through, to try and find a way back into this contest. And St Albans at the moment, with all the momentum, and whatever Cam Watson said to them during the week and the momentum that was built off that cup win, they've carried it in here. They made a lot of changes for this game, and so far it's paying major dividends. And this man here, Nick Cook, making the most of his chance. The number 9, Martinovic, through to Monek. And Kamara was there to get a foot in. Was that a back pass? I mean, it's worth asking the question, but Adam Bavkar is just prepared to let that one slide.
I think it probably shows that Bentley are just a little bit rattled at the moment and gives an opportunity for St Albans to get around the referee and get pumped up again.
Here's Cook. Cuts it back in board. Laban. Back in board towards Cook. Aresti clears it away, but it's going to be coming straight back. Here's Martinovic. A lot of memories here at this venue. He was part of the Bentley Green squad that got promoted.
Just wasn't quite clean enough with that cutback Cook onto Laban. Had he have been able to slide it along the turf.
Oh, it's a great ball back towards Cook, and it's a good challenge there from Boffey. Nick Cook is playing like a man possessed at the moment. And with Mikael Platt missing, he's certainly staking his claim to stay as the central striker in the weeks going forward. And it's a good problem to have. Two very different profiles. Mikael Platt more of your hold-up striker, but a goal and an assist, and Nick Cook is making it count today. Cholina is able to win the throw-in.
Yeah, you can see that talent and know-how that he has in the wide areas as well, in the way that he's not just staying in the centre like that typical hold-up striker that you mentioned is more sort of Platt's game. He's stretching out, obviously linked up perfectly with Monek for the 2 goals, but willing to make those runs into the channels, stretch the Bentley defence.
So, this Bentley side, missing a bit of experience today. No Moe Dara, no Scott Hillier, no Anthony Frangi. Of course, Lee Broxton back on the bench. They're under siege at the moment. Inoue, can he get forward down the left? Sharan offering centrally. Looks to beat his man, but it's well defended by Kagiyama. And Kamara's there to clear it away. Grella switching ball out to Nicolaides. Can Bentley build something up from the back here? Petrados. Good ball over the top. Boldea. So take Monek and get towards the byline, and he plays it in towards the middle, and Bullich did well to make the stop. Bit better there from Bentley, being able to work their way through the channels. Haven't seen too much of Maki Petrados yet, Nick. He's been their main man up front. 6 goals already this season. In fact, he's scored 6 of their 11, so it's no secret where the goals have come from this campaign. But so far, neither he or Anthony Lynn, who did score against Preston their last home game, have been able to really test this St Albans defence all too often.
Yeah, spot on. Top scorer in the competition so far, Maki Petrados, but don't really recall an opportunity we've had to say his name at all tonight, at least repeatedly. But as you mentioned, a real positive bit of play just there down this near side from Bentleigh, and positive for them in that it was so easy as well. It was just a couple of quick 1-2s, a lifted ball over the top, and able to get into the box with relative ease. So in the position that they're in, looking to take those little wins. And speaking of little wins, what a piece of skill from Lachlan Weir.
It's beautiful work there from the fullback. St Albans go again. Inoue looking to make the run. He's just been everywhere to start this game. See, he's been chopping at the bit to get back out there after his suspension. McFarlane wins the throw-in. Fletcher McFarlane, his first start of the season. A well-tenured NPL Victoria player, Fletcher McFarlane. Set to bide his time this season for a start. Been behind the likes of Mills, Anderson and Dayu in the centre-back pecking order, but gets his chance today and has fit in well in the early going as Aresti. Switching ball out towards the run of Nicolaides, and Martinovic was there. Boffey. Back to Nicolaides. And now Kamara. That's get that one away quickly because Monek was charging to try and close him down. Haji, Grella, first time ball is just found his man in Aresti. He's going to create something between the channels, but he's forced all the way back. And Monek there getting a foot in, and well, for all that hard work that Bentley did just to get the ball from side to side, they end up losing territory. So it goes to show, even for what St Albans have done going forward, Nick, their defensive work rate has been immense in the early portions of this game.
Yeah, spot on. It was a shame Sam Grella just mishit that pass because they switched it from right to left and then back out to the right side really well. Held possession for a good minute or two, did the Greens. And you felt like, you feel like they're starting to get their tail up, starting to build these chains of possession. But as you mentioned, I think the most pleasing thing, of course, apart from the two fantastic goals, is Nicolaides will look to rifle from long range. Petrados now can look to go 1v1 perhaps. Standing up to the task really well, Michael Martinovic. But yeah, as I was saying, perhaps the most pleasing thing for Cam Watson and his staff, aside from the two brilliant goals and obviously the lead, is how solid they've been defensively through this opening half hour or just about so far. Continuing to keep Bentley at bay. Petrados opts to take the throw himself. He'll get it back from Aresti. That's nice from Maki Petrados and Aresti to Nicolaides. Ball along the deck. Just a bit tame, lacked a bit of conviction, the ball inside. Inoue was there with the clearance, and Albans want a throw, but Bathka says corner. So first opportunity for Bentley to send up Boffy and Kamara and get a ball in. Looks like Keiji Kageyama will have the in-swinger from this near side. We'll see what Bentley can conjure up from a set piece. It's deep from Kageyama. It's towards Haji. Did it cross the line? No is the answer, and Kamara had the follow-up. It was a big chance for the Bentley captain as it dropped to him. But perhaps a centre-back's touch with the finish as he just blasted it over the crossbar. Ismail Haji won the first header at the back post, and with no decision and no goal line technology in Senol NPL, you have to say it's a fantastic goal-saving save from Marko Bulic on his return to the 11.
Well, the assistant referee was right on the line there, so trust his vantage point from that position.
Initially a really good flick on from Monek, but Boldea did well to get back on Chelina. Martinovic helps it forward, and Monek. That'll fall kindly to Sharana. Cook chasing Kamara. He's done really well to win a throw in, Nick Cook. That's that type of energy and work rate you want from your front man, chasing the lost causes and being able to win your side a throw.
And this is such a tough matchup as well for Nick Cook. Kalu Kamara is one of the best centre-backs in this competition. Has shown it for a long time at Avondale, and actually surprised that he put that one over, because in the last year scored a cracking goal against Preston Lions, and it's one of those centre-backs who has goals in him. We would have expected him at least to put that one on target.
Cholina out to Martinovic. McFarlane's been really confident on the ball. That's another excellent turn from Weir. And the release down the line to Sharan. Kamara's been drawn out to the fullback position. Cheeky from Sharan to Laban. Oh, and a lovely nutmeg from Luke Aresti. Out to Petrados, 1v1 against Martinovic. Sizes him up, but he's got nowhere to go. Fantastic start to this one as well from Michael Martinovic. Kageyama. You can see, look at those positions that Haji's taking up. Just to try and get on the ball, he's dropping all the way to the halfway line. Petrados now. Goodness me, Nick, I just looked up and saw Marko Bulic's positioning. Maki Petrados had a look, and had he been able to put that on target, that had goal written all over it. I'm not sure where Marko Bulic was standing.
Yeah, Marko Bulic just caught napping there for just a split second, and well, from our angle here, Nick, the goal was wide open, so why not have a ping? And we've seen Maki Petrados score some spectacular goals this season. Bulic has got to be careful in those moments, because a player of his quality, you can't afford to even just give him a window of opportunity to score from those positions.
Timely reminder to be switched on at all times and not get complacent with this 2-0 lead. Can see the encouragement and the cheers from the St Albans back line when Joey Monek, who would have every right to be strutting about after his goal and assist in the opening 20 minutes, but putting in the hard yards and getting the press in, continuing that hard work for his team. Inue's chased that one all the way back to Talib in goal. Goes long. Boldea's up with a nice flick, but Anderson was well placed. The back pass was left a little short, and on this deck, you never know where it's going to bobble. Hadji's onto it now, and Luke Aresti! One back for Bentley. He had the opportunity earlier, Luke Aresti. Could only pick out Marco Bulic. This time he picks out the bottom corner, and there's a bit of afters as well. Aaron Anderson just holding on to the ball as Bentley want to get back on it. And the handbags well and truly are out.
Well, a lot of frustration there, it seems, between the two teams. But for Bentley, there's joy. They've found the window back into this game, and Marco Bulic just a poor clearance just straight up into the night sky and made things hard there for his teammates, and it was well worked there from Bentley to get the ball through. And Luke Aresti has been someone who's been causing problems all evening and probably looked Bentley's most likely, and that was a really nice finish. And well, after all that good work there from St Albans to build this 2-goal lead, suddenly the deficit's halved. What a start to this game. We're only just over half an hour in, Nick, and I'll tell you what, Bentley have had not many of these games where we've seen, goals going back and forth. But suddenly today, in the first 30 or odd minutes for the neutral, in for a big one tonight. This is really exciting football.
It's been an absolute cracker. That's such a killer, though, for St Albans to give away a goal in those circumstances after all the defensive work that we've put in and that we've highlighted across the opening 34 minutes. So avoidable and so unnecessary, that goal to concede.
Bulic comes racing off his line there and was able to clear it away before Anthony Ling could get onto it. Now Bentley, they have a little bit of wind in their sails. Can they start to turn the screws a little bit? Still plenty of time before half-time to get an equaliser.
Yeah, a bit of that argy-bargy can only help as well. Just fire everyone up a little bit, get under St Albans' skin, make him a little bit nervous. Opportunity to test Marco Bulic now in the next couple of minutes. We mentioned his positioning on that Petratos shot. The shaky clearance now. Bentley tails are up.
Boffy did well to get around Cook. Aresti looks to play it first time, and now a chance for St Albans to break. Monek skips around Kamara, but Kamara does well on the second attempt and clears it away. And that was a very nervous moment there for Bentley, because somehow Monek ended up isolated with Kamara. Boffy had pushed up all the way forward, and Joey Monek, who has scored St Albans' second of the night, was in a very dangerous position. But nonetheless, Bentley win themselves a free kick.
Almost impossible to keep track of this game from the scaffold here at Kingston Heath. Boffy had initially made that nice step into midfield, but as soon as they turned the ball over, that gap was wide open.
So, St Albans, if you're just tuning in, built up a 2-goal advantage, courtesy of 2 great goals from Nick Cook and Joey Monek. But Bentley pulling one back through Luke Aresti. It's been a very entertaining start to this game here in Melbourne South East. Beautiful night for football, and that's a beautiful passage there from St Albans, and Sharan just unable to find Cook. Boffy clears it straight into Inouye. The flag is up on this near side, and it's an offside there against Nick Cook. So just looking at both teams' benches today, St Albans with plenty of attacking talent waiting in the wings. Lloyd Isgrove back from injury, made his return last week against South Melbourne, scored in the Cup in midweek, along with Josh Golevsky, Emmanuel Peters, Marko Juric and Alek Sepavorowski, and it's turned over. Here's Monek. Cook making the running board. Monek can potentially go alone. Looks for Sharan instead. And it's well defended by Grella. And they clear it away. Coming back though. Choina goes to ground. And a free kick awarded there to St Albans. And the St Albans fans underneath us, they want a yellow card to Dion Nicolaides. But I think that will just be a final warning there for the Bentley fullback. But, geez, a moment of madness there playing out from Bentley.
At both ends, it's coming out as well. And I'll tell you what, the experience and quality of Adam Babka as a referee is on show, because he has done outstandingly well to not book anyone in the opening 38 minutes. Just diffusing tensions and keeping things calm. But the turnovers have been insane at both ends, haven't they? And it was probably the right option from Joey Monek. He used all those runners as the decoy. He had Sharan opening up on the far side. Just couldn't quite get the pass right as it bubbled up in front of him.
Well, you wouldn't have argued with him going for it as well, given he is riding the hot hand. But as you said, Nick, went for the unselfish option. But a free kick here for St Albans. Weir curls it into the box, in towards the back post. But just a bit too much on that one, and it bounces out for a goal kick. But just going back to that point, plenty of attacking artillery on the bench for St Albans. Bentley, their bench, of course, headlined by Lee Broxham, as well Dennis Menelau, Dimitri Rallos, Jawad Razai, Brando Conte, and backup goalkeeper Brendan White. So still haven't seen Dennis Menelau open up his account in NPL Victoria this season, but Jawad Razai coming off the back of his first goal, or scoring, against Banyul in the Cup, and then, of course, Dimitri Rallos, the youngster, another attacking option for them. But you expect we will probably see the 38-year-old Lee Broxham, the all-time leading A-League's appearance holder, over 380 games for Melbourne Victory. Expect to see him at some point today, perhaps just to steady things in the middle of the park for Bentley. Amazing he's still going, playing at this level.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? So good to have him in NPL Victoria, and of course a familiar face to St Albans as well, if he can come on and have his say on proceedings.
Yeah, he's spent 6 games at St Albans in 2024 as Cook. Going to play it through. Bit of chaos there in the middle of the park, and it was Kamara who gave away the foul. And Adam Babka will pull out a booking here for the Bentley centre-back.
Yeah, there we go. Right on cue. There is the first caution of the night. Kalilu Kamara's 4th of the season, so he'll be treading on thin ice for the coming weeks. But again, just the chaos. It was a sequence of St Albans yelling for the foul as Kamara looked to jump into Cook's back. Then it looked like Kamara might have committed a handball. And then third time lucky, he was pulled up and does go into the book.
The ball just pinballed around there. There were bodies flying everywhere. And in the end, St Albans do come up with the free kick. And Kamara, as you said, Nick, will be on thin ice for the rest of this game. And if he can get through that as well, of course, for his next fixture, as of course 5 yellow cards means a 1-game suspension. So just under 5 minutes of regulation time remaining in this first half. Free kick opportunity here for the visitors. Still leading 2-1. Martinovic into the box. It's nodded away and helped further clear there by Kageyama. Martinovic with a first-time ball. Weir helps it on towards Inoue. Kamara got his head to it. Just feels like every time St Albans go forward, Nick, that they're going to create something. There's so much speed in that front three, and it feels like they're just causing a lot of chaos for this Bentley back four. And I wonder if perhaps maybe some changes might be in the offing at half-time from Bentley. Maybe looking at Broxham to shore things up and add a bit of extra leadership in that back four. And especially young Sam Grello, who's only playing his 4th appearance for Bentley all time. Of course, started last week against Oakley for the first time this season. 2nd consecutive start, young felt player who only debuted last season against Western United. So hasn't played a lot of senior footy against the experienced legs of someone who has been there and done that at the highest level here in this country for many years. Anderson. Martinovic. So just period of possession here for St Albans, just to sit on the ball a little bit.
Yeah, much more like it for the visitors. They were a little bit twitchy a couple of minutes before and a couple of minutes after Bentley's goal, but much better now.
Oh, great ball from Laban, and he has plays in the middle. Martinovic looking for Cook. Sharan at the back post! And St Albans regain their 2-goal advantage on the brink of half-time. And that is silky smooth football down the right-hand side. And Sharan ghosting into the back post and builds off the momentum of his goal in midweek in the Cup with St Albans third before half-time.
I'm getting a sense there's a bit of an air of clairvoyance up here in the commentary position. A number of players that we've highlighted and pointed out and touched on for really positive starts in this night, have gone on to have really telling impacts. Michael Martinovic was one of those. The run forward, and when he put that cross in, Joey Monek had his hands outstretched thinking, oh, why didn't you give it to me? And it just skipped past Nicholas Cook, and you thought Martinovic maybe either picked the wrong option or just played it a little bit too early. He had more time to drive to the byline. But then you look up, and you just mentioned the pace of St Albans' front three, Nick. Out of absolutely nowhere was Jerome Sharan. And you saw Talib scrambling, realising he was coming. And to have the poise and the calm to finish along the deck, not lift that ball up, as another chance for Bentleigh, and Bullich is off his line. Goodness gracious me. Anthony Lynn was nearly in for one straight back for Bentleigh. But just to finish off, an outstanding finish from Jerome Sharan, and 2-goal lead restored. Wow, take a breath if you're watching this one at home. Delighted to have your company on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel, and with 3 games on tonight, I dare say, not knowing exactly the results in the other 2, I think you've picked the right game if you're watching this one at the moment.
No bias, of course.
Absolutely. Anderson cleared, but Boffy's onto it. He's got space to drive. It's a long ball deep into the box on the other side, on the right flank. Petratos cuts inside, and that was not too far away. Our position might have made it look a little bit closer than it was. But cutting it on the left, shooting with power. Looking to test St Albans' defence, and again, just issue a reminder, hey, you have your 2-goal lead, but I'm the top scorer, and we're not playing at our full potential as yet.
So just looking around the grounds, Nick, as you mentioned, there are 3 games on tonight. The 2 other fixtures, of course, start at 7:30. Oakley leading 4-0 against Green Gully. Their wait for a first win of the season set to continue. But the big boil over, Melbourne City leading against South Melbourne 2-1 into the dying minutes. So Melbourne City into 6th, South Melbourne drop into 2nd. But if Bentley win this game, Nick, they're only 1 point behind 6th place Melbourne City. So we're talking about going from a team that were on the edge of the relegation zone to suddenly being in the mix for finals football again. That's how close things are in this competition.
Incredible. What a result that is for Melbourne City. Been building with some good performances that haven't always yielded results. Thought they were good value last week. Falling short at home against Hume City. Keep an eye on and see if they can hold on to that lead. Just as we were wrapping up some of that action, we had 1 minute of added on time shown by our 4th official. Adam Bavka has the whistle in his mouth. And there is the end to a breathless first half here at Kingston Heath.
Score, Bentley Greens 1, St Albans.
Don't go anywhere over this break, or maybe do go anywhere. Go find your safe room at home. Just have a few deep breaths and recover. I'm sure there'll be plenty more action in this second half. St Albans blistering out of the blocks. Nicholas Cook with the opener, assist from Joey Monek. Cook returned the favour to Monek to go 2-0 up. Bentley pulled one back through Luke Aresti. And then St Albans restoring their 2-goal lead. Jerome Sharan with a top finish. 4 excellent goals in this first half, and so much drama, attacking play, challenges in midfield. It's had everything, Nick.
It's been such a chaotic first 45 here, Nick, as you mentioned. So many great goals, chances at either end, and things are set up beautifully for the second half. But if you're Cam Watson and the coaching staff, you'll be so happy with the attacking phases and how they've been able to get forward. Some of those movements, some of those triangles, and, you know, being able to get those overlaps and underlaps. They've just been blistering, absolutely blistering. So a bit for George Katsakis' team to work on, because this is very unlike what we've seen from Bentley at home this season. They have not been carved up like this at home this year at all. They've only conceded 3 goals at home before tonight. Now they've conceded 3.5. So very impressed from St Albans, and things are set up beautifully for the second half here at Kingston Heath. So as Nick said, go get yourself, go have a nice breath, get some fresh air, get yourself a beverage and some food, and come back for the second half here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. The score here is Bentley Greens 1, St Albans Saints 3. Welcome back to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex here in Melbourne South East for this Senol NPL Men's Victoria fixture between Bentleigh Greens and St Albans. It is St Albans who are leading the home side at the moment 3-1 after an enthralling first half. Nick Cook and Joey Monek with 2 stunning goals to open the scoring for St Albans. Luca Resti pulled one back for Bentley, but on the brink of half-time, Jerome Sharan adding a third for St Albans, restoring that 2-goal deficit heading into half-time. But if things are anything to go by, as we saw in the first half, this second half is set to be an absolute classic. Nick Tabano and Nick Hughes here to take you through all the action. Nick, I mean, the first 45 had it all. We're all set to go now for another 45 of action. What can Bentley do to be able to turn this around? Because what we have seen from St Albans has been absolutely ruthless going forward today.
First off, I'll just say more of the same, please. Because as you mentioned, that first half was outstanding. Talking about what Bentley have to do to get back in the game, perhaps seeing an insight straight off the rip with a triple change. Looks like Dimitri Relos, Brando Conte, and the legendary Lee Broxham all making their way off the substitutes bench. But I think Bentley need to just get a bit more of a foothold in the game, because they had the positive period either side of pulling one back and get back into 2-1 and talk about the fortress that they've made here at Kingston Heath. You had a feeling that they were back in the game after St Albans started really strongly, but they just haven't done enough to control the tempo, manage the pace of the game, get themselves on the ball, get it under control. So I think that'll probably be the first point of call, and who better to come on and try and bring that control for your side than Lee Broxham.
So just confirming who's come off. By the looks of it, Keiji Kageyama, Samuel Grella. Still waiting who the third player is, but we will get confirmation for that in just a moment. As we get things underway here, Bentley going from left to right in their traditional green, St Albans right to left in their white.
I think it's the goal scorer, Luca Resti.
Interesting. He was looking really good in that first half. Wonder if maybe there might have been an injury of some sorts, because it is a peculiar change nonetheless.
Yeah, interesting, mate, because he was creative. He had a big chance before he scored the goal, took the goal really well. So we'll see who can bring that spark from midfield now, maybe with Broxham in that more controlling role, sitting deeper. Does it give Mario Baldea more license to get forward?
Sharan gets past the substitute Conte. I left it for Monek, and Kamara's there. On a yellow card already, Kamara, and the ball goes out of bounds and out for a throw-in. And immediately, Nick, Brando Conte head-to-head there with Jerome Sharan, and that speed that Sharan possesses. It's a real weapon, and something that Conte is going to have to be prepared for today.
Yeah, I hope Brando Conte had a proper warm-up in the half-time break, because he's not going to have much time to get himself ready facing that pace. Hadji's onto it now after a turnover high at the pitch, but Laban recovered well. Outstanding assist, or pre-assist rather, I should say, for the third goal. Anthony Laban back in the starting lineup and looked really assured in midfield. Martinovic just couldn't keep that one in, but yeah, Brando Conte signed from Kingston City. This is his 4th appearance of 2026, 4th league appearance that is. And yeah, a real baptism of fire to come up against the pace of Jerome Sharan, and we'll see how he can handle it. Solid first touch on the ball for him, linking up with his fellow substitute in Relos, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Bentley sent about 5 bodies along St Albans' back line and went long towards them. St Albans dealt with it well. Cook may be coming back from an offside position. No flag as yet, and Bentley will keep the ball. So perhaps that's a first inkling of how Bentley will try to get back into this game. The long ball from the keeper, the long throw there from Conte. to be a little bit more direct.
This is going to be a fascinating battle, Nick. Inouye v Broxham, because Inouye will certainly have the speed on Broxham, but we know with all his savviness throughout his entire career, he's dealt with players exactly like him, and he's going to have his hands full with that speed. So those ageing legs of Broxham, what can he do to try and stifle the Japanese midfielder's impact?
Yeah, and they certainly need someone to stifle it, particularly at the start of that first half. He was electric. Inouye on the ball there and back to Weir. Just let it run under his foot, but he'll keep it in. McFarlane with time to find Laban in oceans of space originally in midfield, but Lynn got back well. There's Inouye, a nice turn away from trouble. Weir darts inside. Laban. Good spread out to Monek. Martinovic arriving on the overlap, and he uses him. Martinovic fakes the cross at the first attempt. He'll go himself. Plenty of venom behind the shot. Just a little bit high and wide.
I've got to say, Nick, Anthony Laban's inclusion into this midfield has added so much to this team. Now, Sepevorowski had done really well. He's a very young player, was very bright against Hume. But Laban, with that experience he's got of playing at the highest level with Melbourne Victory, you know, going overseas, his composure on the ball, along with Cholina, just adds another weapon to this team. And it seems like that this midfield three, getting them all out there with Inouye and Cholina as well and Laban, this is their best starting midfield. And you can see that they are just clicking so perfectly. All add something a little bit different. And Cam Watson will be very pleased with how the three of them have linked up this evening.
A huge night so far from Laban. It's helped set that move going forward as well. Sharan, again, they're stretching that Bentley defensive line, looking to get in behind and steal every inch of space they can, testing that offside line. There is Laban to Monek, and he'll get around him. Excellent footwork, Joey Monek. Finds Inouye. Sharan looking to go in behind again. Inouye just about found him. The footwork and the positioning and anticipation of Jerome Sharan there. He sold Brando Conte a little bit of a dummy, came to feet, then turned around and went in behind. Inouye just couldn't quite connect. Trados will give chase and get his side a throw in out of that one from McFarlane. Taken quickly. Good ball in from Baldea. Excellent challenge. Aaron Anderson lifted that one calmly up for Marco Bulic. We haven't had to see Aaron Anderson really put his best, most desperate foot forward in terms of a defensive challenge like that yet tonight, because St Albans have been so solid defensively despite the concession of the goal, which was more of an error in possession than out of it. That's a really important challenge from Aaron Anderson. Laban fells Baldea, and Bentley will be able to reload with a free kick.
Just wonder if Bentley perhaps will look towards a bit of a different profile up front. Menelau, a big presence inside the box. We know he hasn't scored this season, but he's scored bucket loads of goals in VPL1 in his previous stints at Bulleen and Northcote. Broxham to Petrados, and he did well to get the ball back across the face of goal, but it's cleared away. Boffy's under pressure here from Cook. Did well to find Haji. He's forced to recycle all the way back to Taleb, and Bentley under enormous pressure at the moment. Calls for an offside goal ignored, but it's okay because St Albans are looking to go back the other way as Laban looking for Inouye, but perhaps just out of gas there was the Japanese midfielder. Just didn't have the second effort in the lungs.
Yeah, I don't think he was ready for another sprint. Poor Matsushi Inouye.
He's put in a big shift today. Well played there from Lynn. Weir. Here's Relos. Going to make something happen here on this near side, but he's out of bounds and out for a throw-in. So St Albans have manufactured the best of the chances to start this second half. Thought Bentley would be coming out all guns blazing to try and get back in this contest, but St Albans looking the more likely to hit the scoreboard next. And this man has been a handful for the Bentley players all evening. Sharan finds Monek. Plays lining up in the middle. Monek just slows things down for a moment, cuts inside, still going here, Joey Monek, and ball played all the way back to Taleb, who's there to clear it away first time. Stay inside St Albans attacking half. Laban, cool and calm as ever. Short to Weir. Cholina makes the run through the middle, but goes the safer option. Spoke about at the top of the call, it's been 17 years since St Albans have beaten Bentley Greens. As Inouye outside of the foot pass is brilliant. Weir into the box, comes all the way back out to Monek! Oh, he's done it again! Two absolute peaches from Joey Monek. And St Albans have a fourth. That was beautiful stuff there from the St Albans number 11.
As soon as it left Joey Monek's boot, there was only one place it was going, and that was right where the Spiders live in the top left corner. Take nothing away from the touch and the finish from Joey Monek, but how about the setup play prior as well? Brilliant outside of the football from Atsushi Inouye. And the delivery. So often we can see fullbacks or wingers just try to blast that anywhere into the box or try and smash it across the face of goal and get nothing on it. But the presence of mind to still smash it, mind you. He didn't half hit it, Lockie Weir, but to just lift his head up, see where Joey Monek was trailing the defensive line. An outstanding pick out. And then, boy, didn't he do the rest, Joey Monek. The touch to set up the finish. Bent beautifully into the top corner.
Well, I've got to say, Nick, St Albans have been one of the great enigmas this season, as we spoke about at the start of the broadcast. They've beaten the likes of Heidelberg and Hume. They've had some heavy defeats. We've seen throughout this season that this sort of football has been in their tool bag for quite some time. We just haven't seen it consistently enough, but it's coming off tonight. And they're silencing some of the doubters in the process as well. This is a statement. Still got a bit more work to do to close this one out. Plenty of time for Bentley to try and manufacture an unlikely comeback. Petrados, well defended again there from that man once again, Joey Monek. Broxham. Conte. Players lining up in the middle. Switching ball to Haji. Petrados offering shorts. Nicolaides. And it's well defended by Cholina again. Getting back and there to clear it away. Cook. Good hold-up play there against Boffey. Goes to ground, no free kick. Nicolaides looking to get forward. Good play there from Nicolaides. Back inboard. Here's an opportunity for Petratos! And Bentley pull one back immediately, but the flag is up. And Bentley are denied a route back potentially to this contest by the assistant.
Wow. I wonder if that offside might have been a Bentley attacker standing in Marko Bulic's eye line on the finish, because I don't think there's any way Dion Nicolaides could have been offside from the little 1-2. I say little 1-2, a beautiful 1-2 at that. Excellent setup play down the left-hand side. Haven't been able to call upon him too much, Dion Nicolaides, certainly going forward, but that attacking move was brilliant, and it looked like Bentley were ready to get back on the ball and bring it back to halfway. But for the offside flag, we'll just see if we can find the replay. Yeah, I think it might have been Anthony Lynn.
Yep, so obstructing Marko Bulic's view, Nick. And the assistant referee, he took a few seconds to put the flag up. And we thought for all money that was a second goal there for Bentley and a 7th of the season for Marky Petrados. But nonetheless, St Albans' 3-goal lead is still intact.
Would have been massive for Bentley to issue such a swift response. As it is, they haven't dropped their heads. They're back forward again. Hadji onto Petrados, that would-be scorer. Tried the deft little flick. Martinovic was well placed. It's always an interesting rule, that obstructing the sort of eye line of the goalkeeper. I guess you could always sort of argue, well, even if he was standing there, would Bullich have saved it? But I suppose that's not entirely the point, and that's not the reason for the ruling. So a bit of a let-off for St Albans. Bentley will have to reset and find another way to get back into this game, because you always talk about those 2-goal deficits being the most dangerous ones in football. When you're leading by 2, that is, because if the trailing team can get that next goal and cut it to 1, then they can start to push for an equaliser. Nicolaides with another excellent ball. Relos will look to collect it, but Weir beat him to it. It'll stay in, so Conte has to get there. Lifted it over Cook, but gave Kamara a bit of work to do. And work, didn't he do it well? Kalilu Kamara.
I have to say, Nick Cook has had an unbelievable evening. Really, I think this has been, might be a little bit of hyperbole, but his coming out party here in NPL Victoria, showing exactly the sort of promise he showed at Western United in VPL 1. And now we're starting to see it here in the top flight in Victoria. This has been an immense performance from him today.
Yeah, he scored a few days ago in the Doherty Cup. Nicholas Cook scored here tonight, his 3rd league goal. Oh my word, Jerome Sharan, rather. Oh, and the swing from Brando Conte, goodness me. Jerome Sharan, that is outstanding. The step over and the nutmeg, and then it took 2 of them to bring him down. Just electric wing play from Jerome Sharan. St Albans will have a free kick, and before they take it, just on the hour mark, there'll be no hat-trick for Joey Monek as he makes way for an absolutely superb hour's work. Looks like he'll be joined on the pine by Fletcher McFarlane. A couple of changes on their way from Cam Watson.
Well, Lloyd Isgrove is coming on now, and Nick, he's coming straight over to take this free kick. Youngster Marko Juric as well coming on, but I tell you what, Joey Monek's had a big impact, but geez, it's an embarrassment of riches just to go, you know what, let's get Lloyd Isgrove on for the next half hour to try and shore this one up.
He's been waved off the free kick. Atsushi Inoue says, no, I've done the hour's work so far, I'll take this one. Floats it in well towards the back post. It's headed away by Bentley.
Is it the classic, you see with never give a cold player a penalty? Maybe just, give it to someone who's been warmed up and had a feel of the ball already?
You could well be right. That was more sensational work from Anthony Laban. But yeah, as you mentioned, what a luxury for St Albans. Up 3 to bring on Lloyd Isgrove, continuing to ramp up his recovery from injury. Just his 4th league game, 2nd in as many weeks after starting the first 2, and then missing a healthy chunk of football. And as you touched on earlier in the broadcast, Nick scored his first St Albans goal during the week in the Cup. Cholino looks for the switch to Sharan, who looks like he might have gone to the right, with Isgrove coming onto the left. Martinovic with a great run, goes down. I think he was certainly looking for that one as soon as he stepped into the box. Instead, he's now penalised, so we'll see how this changes things a little bit for St Albans and maybe gives them an even different avenue for more goals, as Isgrove comes on the left and Sharan shifts over to Joey Monek's previously manned right side. Inouye pressing high from midfield. Kamara's got not many options, and all he can manage to do is find touch. St Albans just in complete control, barring a few little periods of impetus from Bentley. It's been an outstanding showing from the visitors. And George Katsakis needs to get in his bag and figure out how to try and turn this one around with just under half an hour to go.
Let's just try and save some face for this game, because this has just been it's been one-way traffic for the majority of it, and going into this game, Nick, did not see this coming. When you look at their form at home, did not expect Bentley to concede 4 on their home deck. So if St Albans were going to come away with something, it was going to be a bit of a tight scrap, but this has just been beautiful football from them.
And right on cue, potentially to slightly sour a fantastic night for St Albans. This is a real shame if Atsushi Inoue is indeed forced off due to injury, which it looks like he might be.
I think they're just not going to take any chances, Nick. Of course, a lot of these guys as well played in the Cup in midweek, so maybe there might be some sore bodies. It's had a great performance today, hasn't he, Nick?
Outstanding. Onto everything in midfield, creatively and defensively, and we called upon it straight away. He was popping up in wide areas as much as through the middle. Had a massive part to play in the 4th goal just after half-time, and we were talking about how important it was for St Albans to get him back from suspension. Hopefully for their sake they won't be losing him again due to injury this time. St Albans in possession. Lloyd Isgrove started this move, by the way, with a delightful switch of play, settling into things off the bench. Bentley win it back. Hadji gives it away again. So it was Josh Galevsky who's come on for Atsushi Inoue. So even that's a very attack-minded change. Cam Watson perhaps sensing that there's more goals for his side in this game. Hadji with 3 defenders around him. Did well enough, just about to make sure the throw was Bentley's. We have another player down. It's Dion Nicolaides for Bentley. Can't blame the players, given the intensity of this game, particularly in the first half. The first 20 of this second period has been a little bit slower, with good reason.
Absolutely. This has been a war of attrition for these guys. There's been a lot of big challenges and everything. It's been played at a breakneck speed. So, Nick, this is now for Bentley. They've conceded 11 goals in their last, in 3 of their last 4. They've conceded 4, 4 and 3. 12 goals in their last 4, if you include, obviously, the game against Preston. So 12 of their 15 goals for the entire year coming in this last month. I think that would be a massive concern for George Katsakis and his coaching staff, because they have been so good defensively in those first 7 games of the season. But since then, they've just been a little bit more leaky. We're hoping to get Scott Hillier back soon and Moe Dara as well in midfield, but they have just been way too open and conceding lots of goals. I mean, last week against Oakley, some of the goals they were conceding were poor defending from set pieces and crosses and leaving players unmarked. I know today there's been some moments of brilliance from St Albans, but the way that St Albans has been able to get there, they have just carved through them like hot butter. So a little bit for them to work on going forward in the weeks ahead.
And the weeks ahead won't be getting any easier as well, which is the most imperfect timing for George Katsakis if his side are going to be hitting into a sort of skid or a bit of a, I'm not sure what the opposite of a purple patch is, a grey patch perhaps.
Yeah.
But City away, then they go Heidelberg, Georgies, Avondale and Hume in their next 5. So that's a really tough run of games to go through. Dennis Menelau's come off the bench in place of Dion Nicolaides. Petratos is on the ball now. There's runners at the back post. He went along the floor instead of trying to clip it over the defence, and St Albans win it back.
Of course, as well, Nick, one of those games in that just wedged in between there is a really tricky cup fixture against the league leaders in BPL 1 in Northcote. So it's just tough game after tough game, but that's the top tier for you at the moment. It's the nature of playing cup football at this stage as well. So big month coming up for Bentleigh. And Haji under pressure there from Sharan. Just been going all evening. Boffy back to Taleb. It's led with a switching ball. Conte does well to bring under his control. Back to Taleb. Getting across again was Cholina. Lynn did enough to put him under some pressure. Menelau looking to track this one down. Well played there from Weir, who shifted in at centre-back for the remaining moments. This game, Conte goes to ground, and that will be a yellow card to Anthony Laban, number 4 of the season. So just like Kalalu Kamara, the nervous wait ahead for him. Of course, this St Albans back 4 that's out there at the moment, right down to their bare bones with some of the injuries. No Alec Mills, Ajak Daly missing tonight. Of course, Mikael Platt missing up front. Fletcher McFarlane, who played the first 60 minutes, replaced by Marko Juric. So, the patchwork defence here for St Albans in the final few moments. Bullich off his line to collect and did well. First game back in the starting lineup in the league now for Bullich in quite some time. And a bit of a nervous start. He's settled in as the game's gone on, but hasn't been tested all too often in this second half.
Yeah, he made the excellent save from, I think it was Haji's header, but the back post header from the corner in the first half. And a few minutes later, had a bit of a wild spell with very nearly getting caught way out of position and then being partially at fault for the goal potentially, but steadied himself really well.
Haji almost played Petratos into trouble. In fact, he did. Cook. Cholina has a go, deflected, and Taleb makes the save. But Haji there with a very audacious flick right in the back half. That's something they tell you not to do at junior level, is play blindly at that part of the field. And it seemed like it was going to come off for a moment. St Albans were able to manufacture an opportunity as Conte centrally to Relos.
You might have thought he was still on the wing. Ismail Haji. Talk about patchwork defences. It's like he slotted in at left back with Dion Nicolaides coming off due to injury and getting that extra forward on in Dennis Menelau.
There's a heavy pass from Petratos and put Haji under all sorts of pressure. He's forced to go back to Taleb. He's been beaten by some sensational strikes tonight. Conte, Baldea looking to help it through, but just not in the same wavelength as Lynn nor Menelau. And the ball will spin. And call there from some of the fans below us saying it was staying until it wasn't. And Bentley now will make their final substitution. And it's going to be Jawad Razai coming on here for the final few moments, placing Ismail Haji. So Jawad Razai, who scored the winner in the Doherty Cup against Banyul on Tuesday night, gets his opportunity. A well-tenured player in NPL Victoria, the likes of Altona Magic, Preston Lions, spent last season in NPL New South Wales with the Marconi Stallions, as well spent time at Hume City. Menelau has a go from long range, and it's a speculative effort there from the former Bulleen number 9. Still looking for his first goal in NPL Victoria this season.
Yeah, good Marcelin College boy is Dennis Menelau. Don't mind that. Just off the bench, having a bit of a pop from long range. But the substitution has again forced a change at left back and a change at centre back, it seems, because Michael Boffey's gone to left back, Lee Broxton back into centre back, and Rezai on the left wing.
Just chopping and changing things at the moment, Bentley, and trying to find some sort of avenue back into this game, as Juric with a switching ball looking for the run of Isgrove. Boffey got his head to it, but Isgrove got there on the second attempt. He's still going in. The Welshman, Cook! Kamara got a foot in. It's not entirely cleared. Sharan got a head to it. Petratos set a real task there. Laban put him under some pressure. Just got to be careful, Anthony Laban, on that yellow card. No needless challenges in the last 20 minutes, as all the way through there to Anderson. Happy to go back to Bullich. Good touch from Cholina, but it was away from Martinovic and out for a throw-in. So St Albans, on the other hand, all things continuing in this manner will be 1 point outside the top 6 going into tomorrow's action. Their next few games, they take on the bottom place Green Gully, still winless Green Gully as well, that is. Oakley in the Cup at home before Dandenong Thunder and Dandy City away in back-to-back games and Preston at home. So big 2 games coming up for them in the league. Big 3 games against sides that are below them on the ladder before a big one against Preston at home. So a real chance for them to build some momentum, which has been the tough thing for St Albans this season.
Yeah, the perfect pick-me-up would be this result, and it'll be second time coming for that kind of turnaround as well, because after they lost 5-0 to Melbourne City, as Menelau flicks the header on, do we have a foul throw potentially? I think Conte might have stepped onto the pitch as he threw it into the box.
I think that just sums up Bentleigh's night, Nick.
It does, yeah. Can see assistant referee demonstrating the infringement. And what was, albeit it was off target and looped over the bar, but half a chance and a threat in the air from Dennis Menelau will amount to nothing. But yeah, as I mentioned, the week after St Albans lost 5-0 to Melbourne City, they beat Heidelberg 2-1. And so after going down 4-0 to South Melbourne last week, they've gone even that step further than the 2-1 win. They certainly are 15 minutes away from a massive win here in the southeast. Conte's been in the thick of it since he came on. Oh, that's a poor pass. Kamara tried to bail him out. Isgrove won it. Nicholas Cook is released. They're running into a 3-on-2 St Albans. He just got it stuck underneath him, Nick Cook, but he did well to keep it on going. Onto the left wing. Excellent hold-up play into Cholina. Oh, that was a high foot, and it's a penalty. Brando Conte was nowhere near the ball. And after it looked like that counter-attack might just have broken down for St Albans, Joshua Golevsky is felled. And Dinamo will have the chance to make it 5 from the penalty spot.
Just 2 poor decisions in the lead up to that. That led to that break there for St Albans, and it seemed like Bentley had done well just to stifle Nick Cook, and as they cleared it, just a wave of numbers just to keep the ball locked in there, and Conte just a second too late. Clear as day penalty and a chance at 5 for St Albans.
Golevsky will dust himself off and look to convert for his 3rd goal of the season. It's Golevsky, and he smashed it over the crossbar. St Albans number 10 has his head in his hands. His teammates get around him to pick himself up. But that's a let-off for Bentleigh, and potentially something for them to go and chase now. And they could have a penalty at the other end, and they do! Oh my goodness, and is there a bit more action to come from Adam Bavka? The card is yellow.
What are we witnessing here? Well, at one end, Golevsky smashes it over the bar. The resulting goal kick leads to now a penalty back the other way for Bentley.
So it's Lockie Weir that was in the book, and now there's a little bit of afters. Wow. It's flicked on. I've seen Dennis Menelau coming short and looking to win those headers, and it's had an impact off the bench with those aerial duels. And onto it, in a flash, was, I think, Jawad Rezai, who won the penalty.
Great speed from Rezai. Did so well.
We'll see now if Greens can do their work from 12 yards. It's Maki Petratos, Bentley's number 7, for goal number 7 this season. He went high, but this time it ripples the net. Creeps just under the crossbar. And with 12 and a half minutes of normal time, plus whatever we have added on to go here at Kingston Heath, Bentley pull a goal back and they're still in this game.
Just a slither of hope for Bentley, and wow, a moment to go 5-1 up and build a 4-goal deficit leads to a goal that brings the deficit back to 2, and that's a massive moment there. And see straight away, St Albans not wasting any time, making that double change. Michael Martinovic and Jerome Sharan off, Emmanuel Peters and Alex Sepavorowski coming on. And Marky Petrados, who had that goal chalked off a little bit earlier, Nick, for the offside. He gets his goal eventually, number 7 of the season, continuing his fine year. They couldn't, could they?
Well, if the 78 and a half minutes so far have been anything to go by, we could still have another 5 goals in this game. It's just been outstanding viewing from start to finish. And just as it looked like Bentley were dead and buried and we were getting ready to pronounce St Albans the clear and deserved victors, Bentley just have themselves right in this contest. And goodness me, if they can sneak another one early as we approach the final 10, then it really, really will be game on.
They would take confidence from the fact that this St Albans defence this season, as we've spoken about, has been leaky, and they're well down to their bare bones defensively with those outs. So a real opportunity for them to come at them. Oh, that's dangerous from Cholina. They've just got to keep their heads here, Nick, because right now they just seem a little bit erratic in some of their decision-making, and Bentley can sniff a little bit of blood in the water.
Yeah, absolutely. St Albans captain on 4 yellow cards as well, so won't want to be picking up a bookie and missing the next fixture. Calling for cool heads. That one's headed away by Juric. Kamara lifts it into Relos. Shape the first time cross, cuts it back instead. Oh, what a chance! The air swing from Petrados as it seemed destined to go in the net. Kalilu Kamara's on the deck. He can't believe it. The Bentley captain. How on earth his number 7, his top scorer, hasn't got that early or next goal back, quick goal back that we just talked about to make it 4-3.
Gobsmacked. We're just expecting for him to make clean contact and at least put that one on target. But geez, what a moment there for Bentley. St Albans really need to be careful here.
We saw this when Bentley scored in the first half. St Albans were just a little bit wonky for 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. They made the couple of changes immediately after Petrados' penalty. So Cam Watson, no doubt, will be looking for Peters and Sepavorowski to just settle in, get on the ball, get everything back under control. Barn taking the throw. Wonder if that was just that phase of play that makes it sort of look like that, or I wonder if St Albans have gone to a 5 at the back. Laban seems to be hugging a wide right position. That's a gorgeous nutmeg from Sepavorowski. He'll look to get it back from Juric, putting Kamara under pressure and still going. Sepavorowski might have just gone down a little too easily. Gets back up and he'll halt Kamara's run. You mentioned Alex Sepavorowski, young midfielder who's come on really well for St Albans, had a few starts this season. First chance to really get rolling in this one, in this cameo off the bench, and looking sharp. That ball will find Relos from Kamara. He's 1-on-1 with Juric. It's been good off the bench, Dimitri Relos. Still going with the step-overs. Ball in. Cleared by Anderson. Musgrove gave Sepavorowski the shout. Peters helped it on to Cook. Excellent first touch ball. Looking for Cholina. Menelau will beat the Dinamo captain to it. Back on at Dennis Menelau. Rezai. Going at Laban, who's shifted over to that right wing-back position, it seems. All of a sudden, it's all Bentley. Boldea. Back to Boffy. Finds a nice one. Back into Boldea. Lifts it towards the other side. Juric able to clear. Kamara on his own on the halfway line. A little turn to get away from Isgrove. Menelau tried the ball around the corner. Juric puts it out for a throw.
So, just under 7 minutes of regulation time remaining. St Albans 2 goals to the good, but Bentley are knocking on the door. Petrados with 1 to his name already today, and who kick-started this potential comeback. Conte, Rallos gets to the byline, looking for Lynn, but Weir did well, and he will win the throw-in or not. No, Anthony Lynn did enough to not give away the foul, so Weir will stay down for just a moment. Well, if you're just tuning in, this has been the epitome of a humdinger. Nick Cook opening the scoring for St Albans. Joey Monek making it 2-0. 2 cracking goals, mind you, in that one. Luca Resti getting it back to 2-1 for Bentley. Jerome Sharan restored that 2-goal lead before half-time. Monek with a cracking goal to make it 4-1, and then Petrados from the spot to get it to 4-2. But there's been plenty of twists and turns along the way, including a missed penalty, a disallowed goal, and so much more. Kamara, one-on-one here with Cook. Well played there from Kamara. He's going to take on his man and take it upon himself here, the Bentley captain, and he wins the free kick. It's been a good battle with Cook all evening.
Excellent defending, Kalilu Kamara. Using that experience, the strength, and the pace to outwit Nick Cook.
Boffy gets it moving to Rezai. Few step-overs and couldn't find Menelau, and Anderson's able to usher that ball back to Bullich, who's happy to take a few extra seconds, and he believes there might have been a little bit of subtle contact there from Menelau, so he's prepared to take a few extra seconds and take a bit of the sting out of the game.
Yeah, they won't mind any opportunity to do a little bit of this, St Albans. It's becoming a little bit of a trend in professional football these days. The goalkeeper going down to allow the team to head over to the benches for the drinks break, in inverted commas, / tactical meeting for the coaches to get the whiteboards out.
So, incredibly, what we were talking about in the twists and turns, St Albans had a chance to go 5-1 ahead. Josh Golevsky skying over from the spot. In the ensuing play, it led to the Bentley Greens penalty to get it back to 4-2. And ever since then, it's been Bentley who have been charging. And here they go again. Petrados into the box. Lynn looks to help it on. There was a shout for a handball from our right, but Adam Bavkar was not singing from the same hymn sheet. Kamara. Rallos, good touch there. And Juric did well. He's had his hands full, Marko Juric, against Dimitri Rallos. I believe his first appearance of the season for Marko Juric, so he's had to put in a big shift because he came on the 60-minute mark for Fletcher McFarlane, and he's gone up against the fellow Bentley Greens youngster in Dimitri Rallos, who has plenty in his kit bag and has a bright future ahead of him. As long throw opportunity here for Bentley. Conte to launch it in, and taking his time here. Straight into the mixer, nodded away there from Weir. Back to Conte, Kamara in support. First time ball into the box is a good one. It's nodded towards goal, and it's just wide of the mark. And I believe that was Dimitri Rallos who got his head to it at the back stick and just unable to steer it on target. But what an opportunity there for Bentley.
Oh, my word. What a ball. First time from Kalilu Kamara, by the way. Not easy to hit anything first time on this deck. But he controlled it and shaped it in so well towards the back post. And have a look at that one back. I reckon Dennis Menelaw might have just slightly got it a little bit in Dimitri Relos's way. Had the big number 9 not have been there and given Relos a clear side of the ball, I dare say he may have been able to steer that header in the net. That is an absolutely massive chance. They've had 2 now since getting it back to 4-2. The Petrados air swing and that header from Relos. You said they couldn't, could they? when it got back to 4-2. To quote Mick McCarthy, they can, and they may well could have already.
It's incredible. This game has served it all up. It's been an absolute treat here at Kingston Heath. Juric plays the ball out for a throw-in. Really, St Albans have just been, feels like for the last 10 or so minutes, just been defending. Haven't really been able to get forward at all. They've been going to their shells a little bit more, of course, with this game winding down, just looking to wrap up the 3 points. But now an opportunity for Isgrove. Gets past Conte, gets past Kamara. Still going Isgrove, but a great challenge there from Conte. And well, just as we said that St Albans were going into their shells, Lloyd Isgrove, almost with a moment of magic, but opens the door here for Bentley. Petrados. Sepavorowski does well to slow him down. Relos. Few step overs, one way, back the other. He has to go all the way back to Conte. That ball bounces behind him and just slows things down for Bentley. Kamara. Long ball towards the run of Relos. It's not a bad ball at all, and Weir just is a little bit uncertain with that one. And it finds its way through to Bullich, who's happy just to take the seconds here.
It looked like he might have caught himself out unbalanced for a second, Lockie Weir, but as it was really intelligent, composed defending, knowing that he had only the safety of Marko Bullich behind him and could see Relos and Lynn in front of him, just able to shepherd that ball back towards his goalkeeper. What a ball that is from Conte. Relos again down the line. Jinks inside Juric and back outside. Now Petrados. Playing in a slightly deeper position, returns the favour to Relos. Inside. Still on it, Dimitri Relos. Has he won inside a corner? He has. Much to St Albans' dismay. And Bentley Greens have 5 minutes of injury time. 5 minutes of injury time to try and salvage what would be a remarkable comeback. And they're well placed here to get it started if they can provide a threat from this corner. Petrados swings it in. It's not a great delivery. It's gone past the first man, though. Kamara, shot blocked. Laban won the foul for St Albans. And every free kick, every opportunity for St Albans to let the seconds tick down, as Lloyd Isgrove did just there. They'll certainly take that chance.
Few words there.
Conte's header high in the air. Juric brought it down. Isgrove and Gilevsky trying to get it under control, but Boldea there for Bentley. Conte down the line, up towards Lynn. Weir wins his header. Laban happy to hoist it into the night sky. Boffy's got himself in a tangle. Gets himself out of the tangle. Broxham to Boldea and Kamara. Long again, Kalilu Kamara. He's had a couple of good long balls out from the back, and he's sprayed a couple out for throw-ins like that one. And that is decidedly not what George Katsakis will want from his Bentley side in possession. Brando Conte's stood up really well after the disappointment of giving away the penalty. Oh, that's brilliant control. Juggling from Gulevsky. Tried the reverse ball for Cook. Broxham will let it run. We had 5 minutes added. Can't be much more than a couple of that remaining. Long from Buffy. Menelaw competes. Thumped away by Peters. Cook will give chase all the way as he has all night. Although he was starting from an offside position. Talib throws wide to Conte. Kamara looks the other side with the long ball. That one's a really good one. Rezai reels it in. Laban and Emmanuel Peters getting back. Defended it really well. And you feel like St Albans are really managing these last few minutes perfectly.
They should be there just about now. They've done really well just to settle after a very nervous few minutes. Conte's ball, Menelaw, Ralos back into the mixer. Menelaw, it sits for him, but it's well defended by Anderson and did well on the second attempt. And clears it only as far as Conte, but it won't matter. Is that the final whistle? No, it's not.
Thought so for a second.
The way Adam Bavkar was pointing, it looked as if that was it. But nonetheless, it's a free kick to St Albans, so it's a little win.
Don't wish this one away too quickly.
No,
If we could have 90 more, I'd take it.
Absolutely. Bulic sends it long. Galevsky. Conte. And as far as Sepiforowski. Isgrove. Big challenge there from Boldea, but he wins a throw-in. More precious seconds. Some precious territory here for St Albans. And they're closing in on a big result in a game where really, despite this little scare towards the ends, they have been far and away the better side throughout the 90s. Cholina has a go. Oh, why not? And that was just wide of the mark.
That was fizzing off the boot of Joseph Cholina. And there is the full-time whistle. What a night we've had here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, and what a night for St Albans Dynamo. A 4-2 win, the perfect response from last week's defeat. Cracking goals, penalty drama, end-to-end stuff. Tough challenges in midfield. This game had absolutely everything, and it's exactly what Senol NPL Men Victoria is all about. Nicholas Cook got the ball rolling with a fine first, then set up Joey Monek for arguably an even better second. Luca Resti pulled one back for Bentley, and at that moment it was really game on and looked like the hosts were destined to shake things up. But Jerome Sharan restored that 2-goal cushion just before half-time. 2-goal cushion became 3-goal cushion when Joey Monek scored the pick of the bunch not too long after the break. Could have been 5-1 when Josh Galevsky stepped up to the penalty spot. He fired over the bar. 30 seconds later, Maki Petratos made no mistake from the penalty spot for Bentley. Maki Petratos then had a huge chance to pull another one back. Dimitri Relos had a huge chance to pull one back, but as it is, just the 6 goals for us to enjoy tonight. And St Albans getting the better of those 6 with a 4-2 win. Nick, try as much as you can to sum that one up. What a night we've had.
What a night indeed. And I'll tell you what, Bentley were fantastic in the way they responded in the last 20 minutes of this game. But St Albans, that's the story. Some beautiful bits of play from back to front. Some of the interplay up and down the wings to set up those goals. Some really nice work, particularly in the first 60 minutes where they were really able to exercise their control of this game. Joey Monek, fantastic. 2 fantastic goals for him. And Nick Cook as well. What a brilliant performance from him. The midfield was ticking over, and that's a really, really solid result for St Albans after last week's disappointment. They're now knocking on the door of the top 6. It was a bit of a nervous finish towards the end there as Bentley came. But St Albans did what they had to do. They got the job done. Yes, Bentley had their chances, but I've got to say, credit must go to them, because in those last few minutes, St Albans were right down to their bare bones defensively. You know, without Ajak, without Alec Mills, you know, Fletcher McFarlane only got through the 60 minutes. Michael Martinovic came off at the end there. They were really going patchwork at the end there to try and hang on against Bentley, who were going full throttle trying to chase the result. And I think credit must go to them. They got the job done on the road. This is not an easy place to come to score 4 goals at Kingston Heath, where Bentley had only conceded 3 at home for the entirety of this season before today. That is a massive result for them. And I think that a lot of credit must go to the way that they've gone about their business, because some of the interplay from back to front was absolutely superb. And that's the St Albans that we have seen in bits this season. Now the question remains, can they string together some results and really start to make a charge as we head into the second half of the season?
Absolutely. Back at home next week against Green Gully. But for now, we can hear the celebrations kicking off in the change rooms, and just as well they might. Just the 7th win for St Albans against Bentleigh Greens in 42 total meetings. Their first win over the Greens since 2009. Time to celebrate. Dinamore fans signing off here from the Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Nick Hughes and Nick Dabano, we've been delighted to have your company on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. And it ends Bentley Greens 2, St Albans Dinamore 4.